Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I would like to discuss stencils with you and give you some tips on making stencils inexpensively. So, I'll start by showing you several different types of stencils. These stencils they're for letters. As you can see, they are clear kind of plastic. It's really hard to see them no matter what surface I place them on. It makes it really hard to see them, but they're plastic. Stencils come in all types of shapes and sizes and designs. Stencils can be used on practically any surface. These are metal stencils, really nice, but they're small, so with some stencils you're limited to the size that you can find. These are some other stencils. Nice size. Generally, they're a nice size. As you can tell, these are made out of this thin, it's a sturdy type plastic. I'm not sure what it is. But these are some more stencils. And again, you're limited. If you want this, it looks like a plus sign or an X, depends on how you orient it. It's really small. And you're limited again to the size. These are a little larger. These are alphabets. They're a little larger, alphabets and numbers. This is a really sturdy plastic here. It's much thicker, so it would require a little bit more diligence with getting it to transfer. You'd probably use a stencil brush with this to get down into that space. And these are really thin plastic, which is really great. Letterings, and these have a script letter. If I can turn it where I can see it, it's a block letter, script letter, and then another type of letter, block letter. Now, what I do know is, depending on you, you can use anything for a stencil. I think this was inside of a ball cap, but I thought it was a kind of unique design, and it can be used for a stencil. This can be used for a stencil also, so you're not limited to what's already made. You can make your own stencils as long as you have some really stiff plastic. And what I found, this is the lid to some wax or soap making stuff. It's a nice thick plastic, and so this flat inner surface can be used for making a stencil. And then I found this plastic folder, and you can draw on it and cut it out. It's flexible, but it's very durable, and you can use that for making stencils. Now they have plastic. This is a huge sheet, good size sheet. It comes smaller. Let me flip it over. It comes smaller. Stencil blanks. Let me fold it around and you can see the name of it. It's called Show Offs. So this was like $3.99 at, I think, Hobby Lobby. And they're blanks. And so you can make whatever type stencil you like. I got this one because it was a larger one, and I generally use a larger surface. So you can purchase those. Excuse me. And with those, you'd use an X-Acto knife. Also, what I found out, which is easy to use, is these flexible chopping mats. You get 2 sheets in here, and this was at a dollar store, so I only paid $1 for this. And I'll show you what I made using that. I used those, and this came off of one sheet. And so I still have another piece left from that one sheet, but I use this to make the stencils. And what you can use, which they sell in the store, and I didn't bring it out, is a wood burning tool. So you can use a wood burning tool on this. Once you draw your shape in, I generally draw this in with a marker, and then use the wood burning tool to carve around it, and it will carve that right out. It melts it since it's plastic, and the wood burning tool gets super hot. So if you use that, be very careful. Makes it kind of easy on that. Or you can use an X-Acto knife. You'll have to make sure the blade is super sharp. You just draw what you want, your design on there, and cut it out. You can also use, which I have a can of them over here, you can see. And this is what I do. I save all of these gift cards and you can use these gift cards. They're thin, very durable. You can use them to make a type of a stamp, which you see this one is curled because that's what we did with that one. You can, if you use the wood burning tool, you can mark designs in that. And then you can use it on to make a stamp by putting the paint or ink on there and then pressing it on. They also work good for the gel plate. So any of these prints, any of these stencils that you make using these methods, you can use them on the gel plates. This was another one that I used. It was a really thin piece of plastic, and I cannot remember where I got it from, but if it's really thin, you see it won't hold up to a lot of use. But the flexible ones hold up very well, and you don't generally have to worry about them messing up. So for them, all you do is, if the plastic is super thick, kind of thick like this one, then you use the wood burning tool, or you use the X-Acto knife. Now another method, which these work really well with the gel plates, they're very flexible. This is just glue, a glue stick glue, should I say. And as you can see, your design is up to you. You're not limited to anything but your imagination when you're making these. You can make them, I don't recommend making them too delicate. It looks really delicate, but the glue that you lay down has to be able to stand up to a little work, a little wear and tear. Once I use these, I use acrylic paints with these. Again, they work really well with the gel plates. Once you finish using it, get an old toothbrush. That's what I use, an old toothbrush. When I finish using it, I take the toothbrush and just scrub it under the water, and all of that comes off. So we have that, and I'll show you how to do those. And then we have another method, which is using contact paper. And I recommend some weird color or weird pattern. That way it stands out when you are using the paint on it. And these I use a lot of times with the screen printing. You just cut out your pattern and place it on the screen, and it will hold up rather well. You can get a couple of good passes off of it. If your edges are too delicate, then it's not going to last as long. But I've been able to get several prints off of using this on a screen print. So if you're going to use this on a screen print, you make out your design. And with this, with screen printing, now if I cut that out, that's just going to be one big area that's going to be out. But if I want to have something just kind of delicate in there, I would just kind of leave some spaces in and not cut out everything. It's okay. That's my just notes to myself. And so I would come in there, and then I would let something attach on that area. It's good to make sure you have something that actually attaches when you're doing these, because otherwise you'll have big open space inside. And then I would come, want to make sure you can see this, pressing. This part is still going to be out. That's going to make that hole there. And then I would come back. I want that to stay. In making these, you have to make sure of your negative space and the space that you leave behind. Because if you don't leave a space behind, you'll just have a big open area. You can turn this. It's easier to turn your surface. And that way you get what you want. And the design comes together like that, which is a good thing. Remember, you can't cut everything out or you'll end up with a big blob. And that is not what you want to end up with. That is going to there, I think. That's not going to hold up too well in this spot right here, but it may. And then I just continue on until I get the design that I desire. And I'll flip it over. It makes it easier to see the design on the bottom. So I continue on until I get the design that I desire. Then I just peel this off and stick it onto the screen. Use one of the plastic cards to make sure all of the edges where the paint is going to go into it adheres really well to the surface of the screen. And then I can do the normal screen print.